So today I will explain to you the benefits of animal therapy on human maladies. Medicine is not the only cure for injuries and diseases. Animal therapy is known to help people both mentally and physically. So I personally witnessed the positive effects of animal therapy. So last year at my high school, it was just a normal day and we were all called into the gym. So it was kind of random and no one really knew why. And I remember sitting there and my principal was in the middle of the gym, and by this point you could tell like something was wrong. So he continued to talk and he announced that one of my classmates who was in my grade had shot himself and he passed away over the weekend. And at this point like the whole room was silent and I just heard people gasp and just like immediately start crying. And so our principal like continued to talk and he just announced that like there was going to be a lot of counselors on campus that week, and even people who didn't even know him, like they still felt pain and confusion. And personally, we were acquaintances, and I remember being in complete shock. So when he announced that there was going to be counselors, I remember a bunch of like people walked in and they all had dogs, and I wasn't familiar with that kind of therapy, but I was like kind of surprised. But gradually I realized that even during this hard time, it was clear that certain students found comfort having animals and being in contact with animals. So the presence of an animal clearly helped the student feel more secure and even like a little bit of joy. So not only are there comfort dogs, but animals can be used to assist with certain common diseases, for example like scoliosis or most commonly autism. So as you can see, animals can help in a variety of ways that other humans can, such as comfort dogs and equestrian therapy. So comfort dogs are becoming a very popular source of therapy. So as we can all agree, college is very stressful. So as a result, several colleges such as Cal State Long Beach, they're known to bring in dogs during finals week to alleviate stress. So students can stop by and pet the dogs and spend time with them, and this is known to reduce their stress levels and their blood pressure. I have a picture. So this is at McAllister College, and this is during finals week. So as you can see, the students are clearly happy. So a junior at Cal State Long Beach stated, "It helped me therapeutically to see what I could do with him. It was my way of meditation." So the student claimed that the 7-month-old dog has helped bring peace in the middle of a hectic schedule. So dogs are also known to be brought in during times of tragedies. HOPE AACR is an organization where dogs are trained to attend to scenes of a crisis or a place where there will be a lot of emotional distress and trauma. So some patients, after experiencing trauma, they just won't speak, but they'll still allow a dog to lay their head on their lap. So these teams visit schools, hospitals, and other long-term facilities. So I've personally seen the improvement of these organizations. So I volunteer at the hospital, and they have a group of volunteer dogs, and they're able to go into the patient's room and keep them company. And this program has become very popular in the hospital because, well, they also give like little playing cards with the dog's picture on them and like information on the back. I couldn't get one. But it's strongly evident how much the patients enjoy having the dogs visit because it helps relieve their stress and pain. So one day I was volunteering, and I volunteered in the labor and delivery portion. So there was a woman who was walking around the halls, and you can tell that she was like in a lot of pain, obviously, and she was just really frustrated. But so one of the dogs, Dawson, who's a black Labrador, she approached her, and you could immediately tell that she was like, it just brightened her day and it helped her forget about the pain for a little bit. So although in this case it's a black Labrador, the most common breed for comfort dogs are golden retrievers. It's proven that golden retrievers make the best therapy dogs because they have expressive eyes and just a loving, gentle nature. So these attributes are especially important while trying to comfort humans. Next, I will explain more about equestrian therapy. Equestrian therapy is popularly known to assist humans with mental illnesses like, for example, anxiety, depression, eating disorders. So these treatment programs can be designed for teens and adults. So the horseback riding experience is beneficial both during and after, because after they're able to interact with the horse and can brush their hair, and this connection is known to help the patient develop and improve social skills. So while horseback riding, patients learn to be more aware, assertive, and become independent, and it also tests their impulse control and their problem-solving skills. So equestrian therapy is very popular with children with autism. Ultimately, it's known that children with autism can benefit from equestrian therapy because creating an emotional bond can be difficult for children with autism. So, for example, maintaining eye contact, expressing emotions can be problematic, but with this type of therapy, children can create a bond with the horse because they're able to brush them, feed them, and just spend time with them, and it creates an emotional bridge between them two. And as a result, children become more motivated to communicate more often. So learning and comprehending directions can be a puzzling concept to children. So while riding, children are exposed to taking control and learning direction while still having fun. So for example, the therapist will have the children play games and they'll throw colored balls into baskets, and they'll also practice touching their nose or just raising their hands, and so that just exercises their rhythms.
For the past 5 years, Varsity has been working with Colton, who has autism.
So you didn't see Colton on the ground, but this is a very calm place for him. We've gone from him absolutely being terrified, huge tantrum, to what we see today, which is balanced, poised, very confident in his ability to ride, his ability to use his words. Let's reach high again. This is the one therapy that we would in no way give up ever.
It's really special to see Varsity doing his job. The last thing you want is to have something happen to that horse.
So, in conclusion, it is evident that humans can benefit from the help of animals in many different ways.
All right, Jojo, what did you think?
I thought it was good overall. She introduced her thesis pretty well. That's the first thing she did. Her story was relevant, her personal story, her intro. The only problem I had was that during her body she didn't use any citations. That's probably one thing. And she ended her conclusion well, she used her visual aids pretty well. As far as just citations was, they'll all mean personal stories and examples.
Okay. All right, we'll just start at the beginning. The story that you have about the incident at the high school and everything, that should come first. Don't tell us your topic first. Tell us the topic after you've told us the story. You know, that's the whole point of the story, is to introduce the topic, and you kind of are, I don't want to say spoiling the surprise, but you lose the impact of the story when you do it that way. Your purpose statement was clearly stated, but it's the first thing out of your mouth, and it should be after you've gotten your attention device going. So I think you need a stronger preview also of what the structure is going to be. I think there are distinct areas that you're talking about. You primarily have comfort dogs, and then you have equestrian therapy kind of stuff. And it seems like there's, it's two parts, so that's okay. But it felt like there were maybe some subdivision in the first section, and there might be more in the second section, but you never get past the one example of dealing with the autistic kids. So yeah, it's pretty solid there. I like the information that you had. I kind of agree with JoJo that you could probably cite things a little bit more. I did hear a couple of citations. First of all, there were students that she mentioned, and I don't know if they were quoted by that she met them or whether it was an article that she read and they're being quoted in the article. That's something that you should cite and explain. There was the one group, I'm looking for it, it's Hope AACR, that gets cited also during the presentation. So that's okay. And I like the visual images that you had of the dogs. They're pretty straightforward and simple. There's one visual that's just begging to be in your speech that's not there. Can you guys figure out what it is? What is it?
The golden retriever.
Yeah, where's that picture on the card that she says they've got a playing card with the pictures of the dog, kind of like the kids or whoever's there could collect all of the service dogs. And I'm going, well, I want to see the playing card with the information on the back. That's something that's kind of unique and interesting. And I go, so your speech was just begging for that, and that probably would have been a cute little thing to add to the presentation. You got to work a little bit. I think you probably encountered it, and maybe it's kind of an odd word. Equestrian. You made it sound like it was equestrian, then there's no E, and I'm going, wait a second. I figured out what it was that you were saying, but it's one of those things that maybe you have to practice a little bit. And if people aren't familiar with equestrian events, they wouldn't know. They'd look at that word and go, well, it just like equestrian to me. So that sounded a little odd. That wasn't a big deal, but that's something that you want to practice on. And it did seem a little bit like you need to practice just a little bit more. You knew the material pretty well, but you are reading more than you want to. But it did seem like you understood it, and you were talking about something that you were interested in also. Did you, by the way, watch that video that I was telling you about? Yeah, wasn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So it was a good example there. Okay, thank you.